Hello guys, welcome to Selenium Training by Wisdom Trainings. And today in this video we will be covering the XPath, that why XPaths are used and how we can create XPaths and work with the element identification. If you have any doubt regarding the course or the video, you can put your doubts and questions over in the Speak Your Mind section. Moving further, when I talk about object identification, we have already seen about how we can identify the elements over the web page, right? Over here we have discussed it in detail in this Excel sheet. We have detailedly discussed about it. If you want to go through it, you can go to the free video of the object identification to get more about it. And when we talk about identifying the elements, we have already seen in the video that how we can use the optional attributes to use with our Selenium, right? We can simply use over here the find element option, and by using this I can simply give the ID or name whichever I want to, and I can use it. Okay, now the condition comes like when there is some of the attributes which is not having any of the optional attribute. There is no attribute by this name class, ID, no attribute is having this, right? This can come in the case of text, because text can have this and it does not also have any mandatory attribute. Okay, now let's just see that if there is some element, if I'll go over here and I'll see, or not over here, let me just go to some of the, okay, you can see over here at the checkbox, right? At this label has a class, but there is no name or ID to it. I want to access it and I want to click on it. How I can do that? How I can retrieve the objects for that? So I can say the XPath. If I'll open a notepad and I'll talk about XPaths. So XPath are nothing but a unique address for every element that is available on the web page. And using this XPath, there can be no confusion while working. Likewise, we also have some unique address and anyone can identify our address. The same way Selenium can also do that. Okay, we will be looking at how we can use this XPath and how we can make it. But before that, there are some types of XPath. Okay, so if we talk about the types, so there are two types of XPaths. One is the complete path. Now this complete path, when I talk about, this complete part starts from the start of the document. From here, from this HTML tag, from here it starts. Okay, always the complete part starts from the start of the location. Start of the document or web page, you can say. Okay. And the second type of XPath that we have is the absolute path. Absolute, or you can say relative path. Okay. Now when I talk about relative path, this relative path is somewhat identified by the attributes. It can be an ID. You can see using this ID, I can go forward and I can retrieve any of the element, right? And the XPath will not be starting from the document starting. It will start from the ID which I have given or the attribute I have given. Okay, so it's not from the start. It starts from the attribute given. Okay, now let's just say I have to create a path, XPath for an element. Let's say I have this element, this Facebook. This is a static text, right? I want to retrieve it. So how I can do that? You can see, okay, now this Facebook is inside this I tag. I need to come to this I tag from the starting if I have to make the complete path. So let's just make the complete path first. Okay, let me start with, I'll say HTML. As soon as I'm writing the tag names over here, it will highlight in the yellow that at which point I am at. Okay, so I'll move further. I'll keep the cursor over here so that I can remember I need to reach till this path. Okay, so to move further in the hierarchy, I'll use the /. Now my Facebook text is inside my body tag, right? So I'll say body, and now I'm in the body tag. Moving further, if I'll see that inside this body tag, I have this div class, and inside this div class, I have four parallel div sections. So I need to go to the div part first. So I'll say div, and now where I have to go for my Facebook text in the second one, because over here my textbook is lying. You can see. So I'll go over here in the second one. So I'll say slash move to the second division. Okay, now for example, I do not want to go over in the second part, I want to go in the first part. So you can see as soon as I have mentioned div, it has taken the first div automatically by default. So if any time you have to go inside a div, which is the first div in any section, so if you don't specify one with it, it's fine. If you can, if you want to specify that you are in the first div, you can. Okay. So I want to go in the second one, and inside this div I have a number of divisions that I need to go down. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 divisions that I have to go. So I'll just write 5 divs over here. Just pay attention that as soon as I'm moving further, the control is going down. You can see now I'm at the last division. Now inside this division I have this h1 tag. So I'll say h1. And inside this h1 I have the anchor tag. So I'll say A. And inside this anchor tag I have this I tag. Then I have reached to my Facebook text. That is my U tag, inside my U tag. So if I'll copy this XPath from here and I'll paste it at the notepad, and I'm writing it in front of the complete path so that you can see. From the very starting of the document, the XPath is starting. Okay. Now, we'll look at how we can make the absolute path as well. Okay. So I'll remove it from here, or I won't remove it, or let's just remove it. Okay. Now, same way I want to go to the same Facebook tag. Now I am not making the complete path. I am making the absolute path. So what I'll do is I'll see to this text over here and I'll keep moving to the parent tag until I find some reliable attribute. So I won't prefer working with the class because the same name class can be available in the whole text again. Right. So I would prefer working with the ID. So you can see as soon as I'm going further, they're all class and I have been at this ID. So I'll use this ID for making XPaths. For making a complete or relative XPaths, it's little different. You need to use the double slashes and whatever you are working with, you can write the tag name of that or you can use star. If you use star, then all the elements on the web page will be extracted over here. But I'm working with the division. The ID I'm using for is the division one. Okay. So I'll go over here. Just a minute. It's a division ID. So I'll use this ID. I'll copy it from here. And I'll simply will put some square brackets. Inside the square brackets, I need to define which attribute I'm using. So I'll say @ID. I'm using ID equals to inside the single quotes, I'll give the ID name that I have copied. Okay. Now I have been inside this division and I have just to pass this way to reach to my text Facebook. So the same way, the rest will be the same. I need to go to the divisions /div, then the h1 tag, then I have the a tag, then I, and then u. Okay. Now I'll copy this XPath from here and I'll paste it on the notepad. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So if I'll just now my both XPaths are over here. You can see the difference behind. This is starting from the start of the document from the HTML tag, and this is starting from a specific ID which is above this Facebook tag, Facebook text, right? We do not prefer working with the complete path because anytime if there is a change in the structure of the web page, at that time we have to change the full XPath because we will be not able to know that at which point the change has been made. But when we work with the absolute and the relative path, at that time, if some change has been made in the ID that I have specified or that ID is changed now, so I just need to change that ID only, and I have to make very few changes in my XPath. So we do prefer working with the absolute with the relative path. Okay. Now we have seen that how we can create the XPath. Now let's just see that how we can work with this using our Selenium and how we can extract this element. So I'll go back over my Eclipse, and over here already my Facebook site URL is given. So I'll continue with it and I'll say driver dot find element. Now we are using the XPath, so I'll say find element by XPath, and inside this XPath I'll give the path that I have made. Okay. Now being a static text, I cannot click on it, I cannot put any text inside it. But I can read the text, right? What is mentioned over here. So I'll say dot text. Now I want to read it. Okay. I'll put this in a variable so that it can be printed easily. So I'll simply will print my variable A. Okay. Now I'll run this code. You can see the browser is being launched. It will go to the URL that I've specified. And then it will enter the text that I have already given. Okay. And it will also retrieve the path. So wait for a while. Now it has entered the text that I have given over here, and I'll go back, and you can see over here in the console that the print has been over here. The XPath that we have retrieved for the element and we have asked for the text, that same text is available over here. Okay. Now when we see the same example by working with the relative path, I'll comment this and I'll comment this one as well. I'll make the variable A is equals to again driver dot find element. Okay, just a minute. Find element by XPath, and I'll give the path the relative path. So I'll copy it from here and I'll paste it over in my Eclipse. Okay. In the double quotes I need to give it dot text. Now I'll run the code again. Okay. We can see it's launching the browser and going to the URL. It went to the URL. It's loading right now, so wait for a while. Now you can see that the URL has properly loaded and the text that we were retrieving is over here in my console. So you can see that whether you use the complete path or the relative path, the output is going to be same. It's just that it creates a very defined thing that only when there is some changes, you just need to change the ID over here or what the attribute you have given, right? A little changes. Now we have seen that how we can customize some XPaths by our own. There are tools also available which will help you to create the XPath. Instead of making it every time, the tool is available. So that tool in Chrome, in the Google Chrome, it's available as the CrowPath. And in the CrowPath, it gives you relative path as well. ID, whichever attributes are available, it all will be provided to you. Over here you can see ID is being provided, that's only the single one, unique one. Name is unique, relative path is unique, but the class name is not unique. It's having two of the elements being identified by this class name. So do prefer never use this class name, use this path if you have ever tried to use this tool. Now likewise Chrome we can identify the XPaths from here, and using the CrowPath, the tool that I'm talking about, if you'll use that and use the relative path, the element that you're extracting on the web page, that will be highlighted over here in the green dotted lines. It will be highlighted. Okay. Likewise, over here we have talking about the Chrome. The same way, the Firefox also can help you to extract the element. So if I'll go to my Firefox, just wait for a while, and I will open the same URL that I was using in the Chrome. I'll open the same one. Now my URL is open over here, you can see. And when I talk about extracting elements using the Firefox, how I can do that? The same way, right click over here and click on the inspect element. Over here the same XPath will be provided to you that we were extracting in the Chrome. Just the way is little different. Over here it is highlighted in this way, and the element that you are extracting will be highlighted this way with all the specific dimensions as well, that how much dimensions are of this text box. Okay. Likewise, the tool available in Chrome, we have that in Firefox as well. You just need to add two add-ons, two or one, it's up to you which add-on you want. So if I'll say Firefox add-ons, okay, I'll click to this add-ons and I'll add the add-ons that I want. So I'll go to this extension, just wait for a while. Now over here in the add-ons, I'll just will type in the search box XPath. Okay, now as many as XPath finders are there, the tools are there, they all will be highlighted. The first one you can see, the XPath Finder. You click on it and you will get an option to add it in your Firefox. I've already added it, so that's why I'm not getting the option. But over here you can see at the top right, it's showing me an icon. So if I'll click on it and I'll drag it to the screen, I'll just drag it on the screen, and wherever I'll take the cursor, it will give me the XPath of that. You can see it's giving me the XPath of this first name. Okay. There is another finder tool as well. If I talk about, if I'll unclick it, and the another XPath Finder tool that we have in the Firefox is the Try XPath. This finder tool, you can also add it, and this finder tool is very much easy because whenever you are creating some text of your creating your XPaths of your own, at that time you can check whether your XPath is right or not. Okay, likewise, if I'll just create an XPath for this, okay, so I'll say, I'll write it over here, I'll say input, and in the square brackets I have the ID is equals to email. Okay, this is what I want to search for. I'll put the expression, and after that it will tell you, you just need to click on this execute button. Once you click on this execute button, it will find all the web page, it will retrieve all the web page and check for the web elements which matches to this XPath. You can see it's giving me a count of 1. That means this is the only element that is being addressed to this XPath, and it is highlighted over here in the dotted red line. Okay, but the Chrome XPath Finder is way better than Firefox, so do prefer making and practicing making XPaths on Chrome. It will be very convenient and easy. This was all for using the XPaths and how you can make your XPaths. Do practice making more XPaths. You'll understand more about it. We'll be covering the rest of the topics in the coming videos. Thank you.